stand on that same thing, the one thing that we need to do, though, is we need to be able to play with the same set of rules. That shirt being made in China, that example I know, but it's not highly regulated there, manufacturing-wise, where we have to conform to the EPA, conform to the FDA, conform to all these things. So it's not the same set of rules. So we got to make that right, and then, you know, at that point, sure, that way we can be competitive with goods and services that are coming out of Southeast Asia.
Thank you. Point well taken from my standpoint. There are regulations put on us by people who in industry, put on industries, they have no experience in even being in the industry. And I think there's something to be said for regulation. I mean, I used to be a regulator. I used to regulate the financial services industry. Remember that guy who jumped in the plane and then jumped out of it? That was our case. We were chasing him. I mean, he was a bad actor by any definition. I think there's a way you can go after the bad guys with the full book of the law. Don't let the good guys alone. Let them create jobs. Let them be competitive. I'm all for competition. I'm all for a level playing field. I thought where your question was going to go is how do you force China to worry about clean air and all those other things. And that's a piece I haven't figured out. I don't know how to dictate to another sovereign nation, especially one we owe so much money to. It brings up after where we're going. Next quadrant, please. Now, Sharon, that's the second guy you took right in the middle there. People supposed to have
that's where we stood in the middle.
Go ahead, sir.
Brent Pittman from Brownsburg. I want to follow up on what the man was talking about.
Sure.
In China, the best-selling car is Buick. How many cars are imported in China made in America? Zero. They have a 25% tariff. Now, China's wages are about 50 cents an hour. Our UAW wages were 28 now. They're down about 14. When I see graphs, and you showed it there, our debt started increasing in the 70s. That's when manufacturing peaked in this country. When I was in 8th grade, my class was twice as big as my graduating class. Those kids dropped out of school when they were 16. They could go get a job, a good paying job, especially in manufacturing, provide for the family. The wife didn't have to go to work, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I don't see any plans for creating good paying jobs in this country that would pay good benefits and get off all these so-called entitlement programs. I'll pay you more money than the entitlements. You said you were for increasing tax revenue, and that's what I'm talking about. We need better paying jobs. Here in Henderson County, we pay out millions of dollars in tax abatement and TIF for warehouses for imports. And what jobs are created are parking wage jobs. They're paying $10 an hour or less. It's ridiculous. Now, Obama has a corporate welfare program. He's paid out billions of dollars. House of Transmission got a bunch of money for a new transmission. They're going to employ 200 and some people. That's great. But I think it was $87 million that us taxpayers had to pay for those jobs. You know, to me, it's extortion. It's bribery. And it drives up our debt.
Yeah.
So we got two problems in this country. I think it's caused most of our problems, and it's fair trade, free trade, but it's unfair to America. And the other is corporate welfare, and that's where a lot of our money goes. So how do you want to create jobs, good paying jobs in America that pays good benefits?
Thank you for that comment. It's an excellent encapsulation of the situation that we're in. But the best way, when you say, sir, when you say, how are you going to create jobs? I don't think you want government saying, promising to create jobs, because then you get what you just talked about with picking winners and losers. You want government out of the way. You want there is no government sector, there is no nonprofit sector, if not first there is a private sector. Private sector creates a job, so I associate with what this gentleman is saying more, and that is get the ridiculous, overzealous, onerous regulations out of the way. Let people that create jobs naturally do that. Just let them do that.
Export all these good jobs out of the country. So they were very involved.
I'll finish that. I'll say you obviously have some concern concerned about free trade and the good jobs that go away from us, without a calculation of what comes to us. And in a lot of sense, you're right. You're right in the sense that it's an intangible thing you're trying to quantify, and that's difficult to do. And in that respect, I always come back to this conclusion, that is, no country, no nation was ever successful in the long run by building a wall. The Chinese dynasty was not successful when they built the physical wall, and no country is ultimately going to be successful if they close themselves in with an economic wall. I still believe the key is, my answer to that gentleman's question, is to remain competitive, remain on the cutting edge, go invent the new thing, and let someone else worry about the buggy whip. That has always been the key to America's success. Not protectionism, not building up walls, because we'll end up succumbing under those walls. Next question, this is about